First of all, I would like to thank you. It's a really great honor for me to have the possibility to speak before the highest democratic organ in Iraq and to find such an open-minded person who show the democratic spirit in a vivid discussion. Congratulations. I would say Iraq is the only democratic state in the Arab world for the moment. And this is a very high achievement, and you can be proud of it. And it is based also on your constitution, which is the basic document of your current democracy. You see, I emphasize the importance of the constitution. And the meaning of a constitution is to create stability. And one expression of stability is also that it is more difficult to amend a constitution than an ordinary law. And when it comes to amendments, which should be possible and which are possible also under the Iraqi constitutional order, we should be very careful and only do the necessary. Germany, and here there are certain similarities, also has a constitution which was adopted under occupation in 1949 when the Allied powers were in Germany, and they had some say in the drafting of a constitution. In the end, we still have the same constitution, drafted under occupation. Even after the reunification, there were no profound amendments in our constitution. Although the Eastern people never gave their consent, by the way, the Western neither. We had no referendum on our constitution. It's also an interesting thing. So we are quite careful with amendments. There are amendments, but only to not very important points. There are other states which very often change their constitutions. Just have a look at the Latin American states. Whereas the United States have within now more than 200 years, 250 years almost, the same constitution. Brazil in the last 150 years has 7 constitutions. So they every 20 years a new constitution. Is it better off politically? It's open to discussion. So this amendment of the constitution is not a purpose in itself. There must be sense, there must be reason to have a constitutional amendment. And this, for first, requires a stock-taking, a very careful stock-taking. Which are the deficits? Which are the shortcomings of the constitution? You spoke about the obligation to participate in the elections, the question how to sanction organs which do not respect time limits, etc., etc. All these are interesting points, but there must be a very careful stock-taking if this is due to the text of the Constitution or if it is due to the practice of the people. Because we will not change the practice of the people just by changing the text. This is a question of mentality. And I think you should not shift the problems to the text where it is in the heads of the people. And this is very important because it's distracting from the very problems you are facing. Therefore, first, a very careful stock taking, and only if you come to the conclusion, yeah, this is really the text of the Constitution, which is the obstacle to a better development, only then change this. So this is only in the case of the necessity. Then the next step should be, what is the appropriate measure, how to overcome the problems? And here, I would say the comparative approach could be helpful to a certain degree, Not that the Europeans or the Western states in general, the United States, whoever can prescribe what is good for Iraq. This is your decision, absolutely your decision. But you can see what does it mean if there is no obligation to participate in elections. Italy, for example, or Belgium, there are such states where there is no obligation. Is it better, is it not better? You can compare with Germany. In Germany, there's no obligation to it. Yeah. So, thank you. Okay. So therefore, here could be very helpful to see it. Question of federalism. Germany, I can always say thousands of years, or 1,000 years, we have experience of federalism, very deep-rooted federalism. However, federalism is very personal, if I may say so. It always reflects the specific situation of a specific country. We can tell you how it worked in Germany. I do not know if it is transferable to Iraq. You just can learn how we do, practice it here. This is a very delicate question, but again, you must see, is the solution better than the current situation? This is it's very, very important, because one person deputy mentioned here, yeah, there are disagreements about the constitution. There will be always disagreements. And even after an amendment of the constitution, there will be disagreements. There are always parties which will lose, parties which will win, and so forth. There will be ongoing discussion. Concluding, it's very, very important to identify the problems first. And very clear, not only to speak in general, necessity of amendment, a lapse of time, therefore it's necessary. You have very clearly to identify what are the problems of your constitution. Second, to take the means how to overcome it, and then to try to find a consent among your political actors and within the people. Thank you very much.